That's Sam I am. That's Sam I am. I do not like that Sam I am.
Well, do you like green aisle and ham? Or do you like sardines and spam? Or maybe terangrial? Ma'am?
I do not like that Samael. Am.
Hey there, nomads of lore. I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Sean.
And we are Mead and Mischief, your home away from no home. And today we're going to be discussing book number 7 of The Wheel of Time. And it is The Crown of Swords.
Sounds painful.
It does sound painful.
It may be, metaphorically. So go ahead.
for it. No.
Okay. We're going to do like we always do. We're going to do a review. We're going to do a briefish summary. There's a lot of meandering things that happen in this book, so we'll try to keep it condensed as we can. Yeah. And then we'll give our review thoughts and what we thought about things, what we liked, didn't like, all that kind of stuff. And then we'll close it out. So what happens in this book? Well, let us tell you. So if you'll remember in the last book, The Lord of Chaos, Rand has had a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. He was captured, tortured, tormented. He is now, as we'll see in a few places in this book, he's now suffering from PTSD and significant trouble and significant issues. He had a really bad time. And so he's struggling with all this kinds of stuff, but he's trying to get his life back together. And one way he does that is that he goes to try to squash a rebellion in Cairhien. While there, Padan Fain, who has become quite the creepy, scary, horrible dude, starts controlling all of this mist stuff, and because he's powered with Shadar Logoth stuff and Dark One stuff, and I don't know what's going to happen with him, but he's going to be a thorn in their side for a long time. I see that happening. But he caused all this stuff to happen because the sheer amount of stuff, even with Rand there, especially since he's just healing from PTSD stuff and all that stuff, just kind of getting over Dumai's Wells, he can't fend it all off. And so they decide they're going to run. And while fleeing, out of the mist pops Padan Fain. I mean, he's kind of creepy dude. And he comes out with the same dagger that Matt got attached to. And remember, he kind of goes bonkers with. And Padan Fain comes out and he slashes Rand with it. And we already know from all the stuff with Matt how scary that dagger is and how much power it has, evil power. And so lo and behold, that slash is on the same spot. It's slashed across the same wound that he had from earlier, that same evil wound that will never really be healed. And so then what's really crazy is those two evil, one evil with a different evil, all the people describe it as they are warring with each other. And it's disgusting, pussy, oozy, nasty thing. And so he's partially healed. He actually becomes saved by one of my new favorite characters right now. Cadsuane shows up, who's this kick butt ancient Aes Sedai that all the other Aes Sedai are like, oh my gosh, you're a real person. And she helps him and saves him, and she starts kind of messing with him and so you are hearing voices, aren't you, buddy? And he at one point, I think it's in this part, it may happen later in the book, I don't remember exactly where, but I think at some point in this early phase, Rand is going to try to use balefire to stop something, and she hauls up and smacks him across the face and says, no, you don't do that anymore. You're going to ruin the world. And all this stuff. But she saves him, and then they move on.
Speaking of light umbilical cords, because that was what we were talking about today, right?
Sure.
Who is our sponsor?
Our sponsor is this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Wait. Where am I? I feel the need to beat the table.
I kind of feel like I need to be yelling really loud and shaking my hands. So, Rand has a group of Asha'man, who he's decided he wanted a royal guard, basically people to be with him, kind of protect him.
Because they're kick butt.
Because they're awesome, yeah. So he has his Asha'man, and he decides he's going to go to Ilion because Samael is there, and he is, bad guy, and Rand is done. Rand is tired of messing with him, so he's going to go kill him. So
of course, Luther and Uber hates him. The voice in his head.
Oh yeah.
So that doesn't help his case.
Who Cad Swain keeps giving him a heck about.
Right.
Yeah. So he goes to Ilion to kill Samael. When he gets there, he finds him, chases him, and Samael goes through a portal. I can't remember if there's a couple different portals or just one, but they go through some portals. And right before Rand goes through, I think it's several portals, and right before Rand goes through the last one, he's pretty certain that Samael has a trap laid out for him. So he moves where he's going to go just a little bit so that he doesn't fall into that trap. And he goes through the portal, and it ends up being into Shadar Logoth. Holy crap. So we're thinking this big build up to this huge fight scene between Samael and Rand, and it's at Shadar Logoth.
Scary
Nothing
evil
happens.
mist.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so so they get there, and there's a weird, mysterious being who is also trying to attack Samael, and it's a little confusing. We think maybe it's a Forsaken. Not sure, but they're attacking him at different points. Rand and that mysterious other person are firing balefire, and their balefires collide, and it ends up kind of connecting the two. It's kind of real fuzzy on the details throughout this entire sequence and scene. It's real fuzzy on the details, but we think maybe there was like a connection made there between the two of them. So Rand, still going after Samael, finally sees his opportunity to kill Samael, but then looks over and sees this Aiel woman, and she's about to die. Something's happening to her. I can't even remember what it is, but she's about to die. So he's faced with the decision of all time, which is always how it is for poor Rand. Do I save this woman, or do I kill this guy who's really bad that I know I need to kill?
Right.
So he, at the last minute, makes the decision, okay, I'm going to save her, and then I'm going to try to kill him at the same time. So he sprays balefire over here to try to get him, and then we don't really know what happens.
No body, no death.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks like he's dead.
But who knows? So he does save the Aiel woman, and then we don't know what happens with the rest.
That's right.
So Rand goes back to Ilion, gets his little crown.
His little crown.
And he starts to... You kind of start to see for the first time that maybe he's starting to accept his role, kind of. He's liking the power. He's liking the prestige.
Might be ominous.
Maybe an ominous bad thing. Might be, who knows. So him and Perrin have kind of a planned fake fight. And it's all heading up to Perrin leaving to go take on the prophet Masema.
After all of that craziness or implied craziness or something's going to happen eventually with it,
craziness.
But things happening, then we shift over and we go back to Egwene and Nynaeve and those folks. I think Aviendha's there, Brigitta's there, Matt's there, everybody's there. Elaine's not, I don't know. She's somewhere. Anyway, there's a bunch of people there, and they're Egwene, who's Amyrlin in exile, and Swan, former Amyrlin. They are like, okay, we've got to get these people to move against Elaida because the tower is split, the White Tower is split, and that's not good for anybody. Is their thoughts. And so they began to subtly manipulate the hall to get them to start to move against Elaida. And so that kind of starts to happen. And also we discover that Lan's bond has been, I don't know if illegal is quite the right word, but has been transferred. It's there's several things that Jordan talks about that are like, this is basically never done. And this is there's bonding. It's a touchy subject. But anyway, Lan's bond has been transferred to some other lady with an M name. I can't think of it. There's too many names in these books. But anyway, that's transferred. And so Egwene has these two Aes Sedai swear fealty to her directly, which is an unheard of, unprecedented act. Just kidding. After consulting my notes, they're not all together. It's pretty much just Egwene and Swan out of the people that I was just saying. So, just kidding. Memory. It's been a while since I've read. It's been a week and a day or so or more since since I've read this book. Elaine and Nynaeve and Aviendha and Mat and Birgitte, they are all in Ebou Dar because they are looking for the Bowl of Winds because it's still so hot outside. And that's a problem because Dark One stuffs. And it's winter. And so they're there and they're looking for the Bowl of Winds, and Mat and them kind of go crossways a little bit, but eventually they gain some trust, partially because as Mat discovers that Birgitte is actually Birgitte Silverbow. I don't remember how that happens, but it kind of stumbles on that knowledge, and he's like, oh my gosh. And then she's like, yeah, I guess, let's go get drunk. And so they do, which is really fun because as it's really, Mat has been fairly flat comic relief, and he still kind of is at this point too. But there's this fun friendship. He's mostly his interactions with women before have been kind of just flirty, ladies man kind of stuff, but that friendship is fun. Also, he reveals that he tells Birgitte about that he saved the other girls and they didn't even thank him, and so she goes stumbling off drunk and starts hollering at Elaine, telling them that they need to apologize. And so that all gets, and they apologize, and Matt's like, whatever. Which, and they're not happy about that either. So, exciting things in Ebou Dar, searching for the Bowl of the Winds still.
So Nynaeve is on a ship. Where's she headed? I don't even remember.
I don't remember. She's like out on a boat.
Okay, somewhere. She's out on a boat.
I think she may have been just like going for a walk or something. I don't even remember. I mean, she's on a boat at that point. Yeah. For sure,
so she's out on a boat, and Moghedien shows up, and all of a sudden, like, I'm gonna kill her, and Moghedien fires balefire.
Feud.
Yeah, fires balefire at Nynaeve, and she thinks she kills her, but luckily Nynaeve kind of fell into the water. Was
she
saved
the boat
by
with balefire. No more boat.
Exactly. The boat never existed.
Right.
Which means the trees never existed. Which means the seeds never existed.
Paradox!
So she falls into the water and she can't swim for some reason. I can't remember if it's because of her dress or because she's weighted down by something or just can't swim or whatever it is.
But she's going
to die. She's drowning underwater, and finally she just releases everything and just like, okay, I'm going to die. And that's when her... The battle she's always had with the power, the one power where she's had to be angry, had to be pulling her braid to get anything to do anything. It finally that tie or the block, that's what it's called. The block is finally gone, and Lan is there, and he pulls her out of the water, and then they're like, "I love you," and it's all kissy, and they go get married and all the fun things.
So still in Ebou Dar, they're all still doing these things because they're searching for the Bowl of the Winds. They meet the Kin, which is a fascinating group of people. They're people that have RUNNOFT from the White Tower. And they, in case you don't, put the reference below. What movie is that from? But anyway, they've left the White Tower, and so they're kind of in hiding, but they can all channel, and so they meet the Kin, and they help them find the Bowl of the Winds, and along with some sea folk and other people, they are able to get the Bowl of the Winds. But then all of a sudden, the creepiest, scariest creature in this series, in my humble opinion, shows up. A golem shows up. And he shows up, and this is a creature that was created by the Dark One himself, and is created specifically to fight people who can channel, male and female. He They are immune to physical damage. You can stab them all day and they're not going to get hurt. They are immune to the power. So you can channel fire at them all you want. I don't know about balefire. I assume they're immune to that too, because they're totally immune to the power, but I don't know that for sure actually. But they're immune to the power, and so you can try to kill them with the power or whatever else all day long, and they're not. They also they're shaped like a man, but they're kind of shape-shifty, like that one really creepy episode of X-Files. They can like squash through underneath the door frame and through bricks and things. And so he shows up and he's slaughtering all these people, and Matt rushes in, and he can't kill him with a knife or whatever either, but through the struggle with the golem, his fox head medallion touches him, and the golem kind of shrieks or is burned, basically, is kind of how it's described. And so Matt realizes, okay, this hurts him, and he's afraid of it for whatever reason, maybe plot convenience. We'll talk about that later. And so he kind of starts swinging it around and chases the golem away. Luckily, or else they would all be dead. And so that all happens, and then they find the bowl of the wind. That part seems to be resolved. We seem to be kind of slowly coasting into the end of the book, and then you remember those guys and gals that put collars around the people that can channel, the Shan-Chan. Then their whole army show up and they invade. Oh my gosh. And in that invasion, this wall falls on Matt, and it's just like, okay, all of a sudden it's all gone to pot, and that's
the book ends.
There it is. Dun, dun, dun. So, what did you think of this book?
So, I enjoyed the book, okay. Here are the things I liked. Let's go through that. So, things I liked the Rand's two wounds, the idea of the two evils fighting each other, and then also that kind of mirrored
foreshadowing,
a little bit in the fight that he has with the suspicious person that's also attacking Samael.
Sure,
the whole idea that there's the Dark One, and then there's Shadar Logoth, and it's like really creepy that there's. First of all, that the dark. I mean, that's kind of you always hear of any story in any life. You always hear of the bad guy.
Right.
There's always a bad guy, but then the fact that there's a second bad guy
who seems to scare the bad guy, the other bad guys,
and they don't like each other. So that's like anyway. So I do enjoy that. I did enjoy. I've enjoyed the comedy of Nynaeve's inability to channel for a long time. It's hilarious to me. And so that finally getting resolved was kind of cool to see. And I enjoyed, I guess, the fight scene between Rand and Samael, but to my negatives, it was very anticlimactic. I felt
that way.
It was like, okay, we're going into the craziest, scariest place in the world.
With the showdown that's been built up for like 3 books or so.
Yeah, exactly. Or more. I mean, I can't remember what book it was that Samael was first kind of introduced, and you realized he was going to be a big problem. He was having a conversation with some other Forsaken or something, and I was like, oh, this guy's creepy.
Clearly a
big player.
Rivalry happening there a little bit.
So that was anticlimactic. And then also the fact that the ending was just like build up, and nothing happened. And the Bowl of the Winds finally getting resolved, I guess, was nice, but I felt that, like you said, was kind of took too long. So that's how I felt. How'd you feel?
So there, so far I'm actually right now just finished book 10, and everything. I'm not gonna give any spoilers. He hasn't even quite got there yet, so I'm not gonna give any spoilers. But every single book I have enjoyed some part of. We are, everybody talks. This is about the point where people quit. Not everybody, but a lot of people talk about book 7 as the beginning of the slog. I think book 6 kind of starts it, honestly, for at least, even if you love Asha'man Kill part and all the Dumai's Wells, up to that point, there's not a lot of cool stuff that happens, not a lot interesting that happens. So I think the slog starts to happen sooner. Book 7 is that the biggest problem with book 7 to me is just this weird meandering scattered plot. Like it's just kind of all over the place, and all this stuff just kind of happens and pops in, and there's so much of and we talked about it, like with the Sam-I-Am fight. It seems very clear that Jordan is setting a lot of stuff up there. Like there's a lot of stuff that kind of happens that's more like foreshadowing or little pieces that are probably going to be something bigger, probably, whatever. And because but the fight itself compared to, I'm not even comparing it to the Dumas Wells big grandness or whatever. It's just kind of slow, and it's this, like I said, the Samael and Lews Therin and Rand, that has been built up as this big thing, and when they clash, it's going to be big. It wasn't. Really wasn't. And but there are some interesting things in it that are maybe there, and there's some other stuff that's interesting, like the Bowl of the Winds thing. That the Bowl of the Winds drove me bonkers because they were searching for that thing for like 1.5, 2 books at least. And so, because they found out about it like way back, like it may have even been before Lord of Chaos. I don't remember, but it's like way back. They found out about this thing. Lane or somebody found out that, maybe Egwene. I don't remember who it was. Somebody in Teleon-Riyadh, I think. They found out it existed, and then they were going to go look for it, and then we're going to do things, and then they spend a chunk of this book looking for it, and they're just looking for it, and then that, I thought at the beginning of this book, because they're talked about kind of in the prologue, I think, or at the end, I don't remember when, but I thought, okay, that's going to be a big ending piece to this book, is Bowl of the Winds. Oh yeah, this thing is healed, and the they're going to find the Bowl of Winds, they're going to use it, and winter's going to come, and it's going to happen. And then, so they do that, they find the bowl, and they don't even use the dadgum thing until the next book. And so the Bowl of the Winds, it's like, oh my gosh. And, this is, I don't think this is a huge spoiler, but nothing hardly comes of it except for winter. It's like this big old huge thing, and maybe some more happens later. I don't know, but it's like, oh my gosh. So that drove me crazy, Bowl of the Winds thing. Nynaeve's thing was fun. That was a good thing. The Golem part I liked a lot, even though it was a small part, but that's very intriguing. And because he's super scary. Honestly, the Forsaken kind of are almost a joke because they all fall to Rand very quickly, pretty much. Every time they fight Rand, they pretty much just dead. That's true. And but the Golem is terrifying. That's creepy. It's like the Gray Men earlier, but way scarier. Like he can basically pop up from anywhere, unexpected, and kill you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And bringing that Foxhead medallion in, that's been an interesting thing. It's like, so Matt can know, he knows when people are channeling or whatever, and that's kind of cool. But this added piece to that is cool, and it is. It's plot convenience. I'm sorry, but it is. Sorry, not sorry. It's a lot of fanboyism in this IP, but it's plot convenience, but it's also makes sense in the world. So it's not like totally out of the blue plot convenience. And so that was cool. There's just a lot of just kind of stuff that is kind of meh in this book. And so definitely part of the slog. Absolutely. Didn't love it. But again, I've liked some of, including this one, some of all of the books. So it's a pretty good book. So let us know what you thought. Yep. All right. Got anything else to say?
Nope.
Who knows? Now let us know what you thought. Like, comment, and subscribe. Do it now.
That's right. Peace out.
We'll see you later.